Okay, it's blue. Good girl.
Welcome to the very first episode of DevCast. I'm Ethan.
And I'm Shy.
And we figured what better way to start this off than with a bottle of Prosecco. So we're going to go ahead and pop this open, get this thing started. We can all cheers together. Baby's got the orange juice. Yeah, it didn't explode this time. Water on the floor.
And we got our little wine glasses, you know, special occasions or whatever. We're not big wine drinkers, but we are big Prosecco drinkers.
Yeah, Prosecco Rosé, Kirkland signature. Not saying sponsor us, but sponsor
maybe.
us. First sponsor of the year. Here you go, baby.
And I love orange juice in my Proseccos just because it's not as harsh. It's like a mimosa, but a little cheaper version.
And here, let's put this on the floor because we don't want to get demonetized on our first video of YouTube.
We got our OJ in here, and then you just pour a little bit.
We figured what better way to start this off than... No, I'm good, baby. What better way to start this off than talking about our love story? Because our love story is so unique. The way that we met, I'm 24, she's 22. When we met, I think I was 22, maybe. It's just so unique, and I don't think anybody else has ever experienced this. So, baby, would you like to start us off on how we met? What was the first message I ever sent you?
Okay, y'all. Y'all ain't ready for this. Craziest love story ever seen in my life, ever heard in my life. Basically, we were on Hinge, you know, scrolling as you usually do when you're looking for matches or whatever. He came across my profile. You know, he thought I was cute or whatever. And he sent a message saying, "I think I found my wife." That's the exact message he sent. Then after that, I was like, hold on. I looked at his profile. I was like, ooh, he kind of cute. He ain't bad. So I was like, okay, let me just mess with him and be like, oh, I think I found my husband. That was the exact message back and forth. I'm not even lying. I'm not even joking with y'all. Then, after that, it was just like an instant click. Then we just started messaging about random stuff. And we were like just joking around with each other, really. That was really the base of our conversation, is just joking around for days. And then finally, his, you know, he was a little through the bop. And then finally, he decided, okay, yeah, let's get him a FaceTime call when he was in Florida with his boys or whatever. We get on the FaceTime call, worst FaceTime call in my life. Not even joking with y'all. Not even joking. It was the worst FaceTime call of my life. You know it's true, baby. Because he was a little intoxicated.
Little. Just a little bit.
And basically, we just talked, but not really.
She was building a boneless couch when I met her on this FaceTime call. She says, I was a little intoxicated. Okay, buddy. Anyways, she was building like an inflatable couch and she was yelling at her mom through the door. Meanwhile, I'm not in Florida. I don't know where she got Florida from. I was actually in a hotel in Los Angeles, hammered out of my mind with my boy. And it was like, bro, I don't even know what was happening on the FaceTime call because she's yelling at her mom. They're Filipino, Asian family arguing over who's cooking the first meal of the night.
You would understand, okay? Y'all would understand. With the Asian parents, it'd be real up and down, up and down.
Regardless, as soon as that FaceTime call ended, you know what I thought? Already sent the Hinge message. Intuition is strong with this one. I just came back from a 2023 Middle East deployment. I was lonely. I was on Hinge a lot. I was just trying to fill those gaps of loneliness. So whenever I sent her that message, one, because I thought she was beautiful, but two, it was kind of just like, let's see where this goes, because I've been going on Hinge dates. I just didn't want to be alone. That's what happens when you're with the same people, same routine, that repetitive structure for nearly a year. Right? And the Israel and Hamas thing was popping off. So, regardless, when I met this girl in real life, we actually met at the Mission Valley Center in San Diego, California.
At Target.
At Target. See, she remembers the best moment of her life.
Oh.
At Target is crazy. But I tell you, man, there's something truly beautiful in the way that life works. And everybody's always trying to find the love of their life. And they think that if you keep searching, you'll find. Sometimes the key to find is to stop searching. You never know. I just took it. I was going to meet up with her. She almost canceled on me. In fact, she was so scared.
Nervous.
What'd you say? You said, I thought I was going to get kidnapped.
Honestly, because it was a little late. And Target, Mission Valley, if y'all are from San Diego, you would know Mission Valley, Target Mall. It's a little iffy sometimes. But I was like, okay, you know what? Something told me inside of my gut to just go through with it. Because a lot of the times, prior dates, I swear I would always cancel. But something was telling me, like, girl, you gotta go through with it. And finally, I listened to my intuition, and I went through with it, and it was the best decision I ever could have made in my life. And the one thing I will say is when we first met, though, I was sweating bullets, like armpits, forehead, back, everything was just moist.
I could see it.
Okay.
Everything was moist?
Yeah, okay, sweating. And I remember him texting me like, oh, I don't see you, where you at? I'm like, I'm in a black Mercedes.
There was 100 black Mercedes around.
He just was nervous to it.
I could tell it was hers because of the glitter license plate, you know what I'm
saying? Yeah, I told him, I said, it's the pink, like, sparkly license plate. You can't miss it.
So I walked up on her looking like the Terminator. She didn't expect me to be some white buff dude because my photos were all in dress shirts. So I walk up on her, sunglasses on, Ferrari Ray-Bans. Big buff dude. I got my lats spread like I'm about to fly like an eagle. Walk up to this black Mercedes. I was a little skeptical because I was like, I'm walking up to a tinted, fully blacked out Mercedes. I'm like, is this the girl I'm seeing? And she has half her leg out the car door, and I'm like, this is gotta be her.
I was ready to get gone if it was all of that, okay? Y'all, females out there, you would know. You sit here, and you have one leg in, one leg out. You got the key in the car. You got the car started just in case so you could close that door.
It was still started, too. That's the sick part. And she kind of jumped whenever I pulled up on her, but look, I put the hand out. She grabbed a hand, my boy.
No, he lying.
Okay.
He ain't do that.
Maybe not that romantic, but
I got out, introduced each other, side hug. We went to go eat at Tender Greens. Well, we would just never forget this because it was like the first most special moment you'll ever experience with someone who you know that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And I just think when we went to Tender Greens, we walked there. He paid, as a gentleman should, right? And it was expensive, but he had bank at the time. Well, at least he made it seem like it. But anyways, we went to eat, and when we were eating, it was crazy because he wasn't giving me nothing. Absolutely nothing. Until our second to third date is when he finally started sharing more. On our first date, it was mainly me talking because I'm a talker, I'm a yapper. And I was sharing my whole life story, literally.
What's interesting about that is because, like I said, I was going on Hinge dates. I wasn't expecting anything. But when I first met this girl, this beautiful girl who's now my wife, Shyler DeVilliers, when I first met her, what was so passionate and intimate is we just, for some reason, we clicked like that. And at that moment in time, I was like, damn, she's interesting. I want to get to know this girl more. And we were just locking eyes. Straight on passionate, eating our Tender Greens. And it was like, we just had so much to talk about. And the prior dates that I've been on, not to mention prior dates in front of my wife, but the prior dates. About them. The prior dates that I've been on, it was like these girls are talking about partying, hanging out with their friends, drinking alcohol, what they're going to do on the weekends, their not bum jobs, I guess. I mean, if you're a waitress, whatever. But listen, they were just talking about stuff that to me didn't really matter in life. It was like, what can I do to move up, to have fun, or who can pay for my next meal? That was the type of vibes I was getting. But whenever I spoke to her, she was telling me how she came from, rough family situation. She was talking about sentimental values, talking about family, talking about how she had been in, right? You went to the what's it called, foster care for a little bit. So she was telling me about stuff like that, and I was like, this girl's interesting because she's speaking about her sisters, she's speaking about her mom, she's speaking about her father, she's speaking about things that you'd want to build yourself up with somebody like that in life, right? You don't want to build up with the girl that's partying all the time. You want to build up with the girl that's like, you're like, if she treats her family that way, then maybe this girl has the heart to treat me that way. And you know, it's funny because at that moment, at that time, I was like, I don't know, man. It just felt different. I don't know how to explain it, but when you really meet your person, when you really meet the one, it's like you can tell on the very first date. And I mean, after that, we finished our food. I finished about 45 minutes before she did.
Well, no, let's say, because when I'm nervous, I can't eat. Like, I don't have an appetite, and I know you remember, I ate about half of it.
You still like that.
Yeah, but no, I was really nervous though.
I think you're nervous.
So I was talking majority of the time, and then I ate a little bit, and then I just couldn't eat after that, because I was just nervous. You know how, like, it's just the first date jitters. And I just remember, like, we decided, we were like, okay, we're gonna leave, and it was already pretty late. It was late at night, and mind you, my mom be having me on a curfew and stuff like that. Like, she's a little crazy Asian mom, right? And I was like, I can't get kicked out of the house. I can't get this car taken from me. But I was like, you know what? You're worth the risk. I hope my mom never watches this. But after that, we decided, we were like, oh, let's just go to the beach, you know, and just keep talking. So then we drove in his white
4-cylinder turbocharged though.
What's it called?
EcoBoost. It got an EcoBoost.
Yeah, a white
I was trying to protect the environment, bro. It wasn't because I couldn't afford the 5.0. I got a 5.0 now.
A white EcoBoost Mustang. And he opened the car door for me. He was a gentleman. I was like, oh my God, this is good.
Damn, he sounds like a good dude.
Then we drove to the beach, and we were just talking. It was crazy because it felt like it was just us two in the moment, even though, like, we were very, you know, looking around our surroundings and weird stuff was happening. But I will say we talked there for a few hours, right? And we didn't split ways until, like, 1 or 2 in the morning because we just didn't want to leave each other.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy, you know, like, we pulled up to Pacific Beach in San Diego, and, you know, you would think normal people, they get out the car, they start walking around, looking at the beach, looking at the view. No, we were just so focused and infatuated with each other when we first met. We stayed in that car for maybe 3-4 hours talking. Like, I don't know how else to explain it to you. When you really meet the person, like, not even of your dream, you couldn't even dream about something this beautiful. Couldn't dream about a love this passionate. Like, when you really meet that person, your brain is releasing this oxytocin, all this dopamine, all these feelings, and it's like, dude, you can't stop. You're stuck to her like glue. You can't let go. And, like, the fact that we stayed in that car for 3 or 4 hours talking, went back to Mission Valley, Target, then we talked for like another hour in the parking lot. Like, I remember going home that night. First off, I want to speak of how I kissed her. I grabbed her little cheeks, right? No, not the ones on her behind, but the ones on her face. I grabbed her cheeks. Bro, I felt like a giant because she's so short. She a little tiny thing. So I grabbed her cheeks and I kissed her. This is her.
I felt like a spark. And I know he's seen it in my eyes. And I felt a spark that I had never felt in my life. And it messed with me. Like, it messed with my head because I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, what is going on? And it's kind of just a scary feeling because, like, when you're young, you're in your early 20s and you're just, like, so unsure about life. You don't know whether to, like, be sure and be secure about someone. And even continuing on, like, to our next dates, like, it was still messing with my head because I'm like, there's no way there's someone that is this perfect for me and understands me this well, and it's only been, like, the second or third date. Like, it's crazy.
It's crazy how life works. And I remember I went home that day. Well, I call it home. Really, it was my friend's barrack room floor that I was sleeping on. But I had a blanket, so it wasn't too bad.
in the trenches, but it's okay.
I was in the trenches when I met her. Yeah, we come so far, and we'll get to that. But I was literally sleeping on my friend's barrack room floor. His last name Evers, and I loved Evers, man. Like me and him had a good dynamic. We were always out partying together. 30-year-old man. I was like 22, but we was living it up. But regardless. Yeah, man, I was sleeping on the floor whenever I met her. I remember Evers had himself a little girlfriend at the time, so he would leave. We lived in the Palmer Hall in the Naval Base, San Diego, but dude, he was gone for like a month living with this girl, and that's really what benefited our relationship because that gave us a place to ourselves to where we could actually explore each other and see, like, she was sleeping over, but she wasn't really sleeping over because she worked at the Amazon warehouse until 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So she would sleep over at my house for about 2 hours and drive 30 minutes home because she lived about 30 minutes away. I had work at 6 in the morning.
We cared for each other. We wanted to see each other. So, ladies and guys out there, like, if anybody wants to, they will. Like, trust me. If they really wanted to see you or if they wanted to do something for you, they absolutely will make time for that. And don't ever settle, like, for real.
We are the epitome of what it takes to be in such, like, a passionate relationship. Like, two people, two souls collided and connected. We are literally the definition of, look, I worked at the Navy and we were in the yards. I wasn't getting off till 3 or 4, going to work at 6, 7 a.m. And then after that, she was in college during the time. And then she had to get some... I was
playing basketball, too, and I had 2 jobs.
Yeah, see? And then she had to get rest in for her night job, which was the Amazon warehouse. It was like 10 to 3 a.m. Mm-hmm. Like I said, work at 6 a.m. Guess who I was going to see at 3 in the damn morning, bruh? Guess who? This one, man. I couldn't keep my hands off of her. I just don't know how to explain any other feeling. And it's funny that I mentioned that first night because that first night, I was like, I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket. And if I get hurt, I get hurt. I don't care. Because that's what love takes. Love takes persistence. It takes consistency. It takes time. But it also takes patience. But it also takes guts. And I put all my eggs in one basket. And I accepted that if I'm going to be able to love somebody, then I have to be able to love myself, and I have to be vulnerable. And vulnerable could get you hurt, but vulnerability could also make you stronger and build this great connection that me and Shyler have. And that's the beautiful thing about life.
That's the beautiful thing about love. And I love love. And anybody out there will understand that when you're young and you're in your 20s, you're so unsure about every single decision you're making in your life. Until this day, like, we're still unsure about everything we're doing in life. But I feel like it's just all about taking that leap of faith and just understanding that whatever is meant for you will be. And I truly have gone through my life saying that because I've gone through so much crap. So as long as you have faith and where there's a will, there's a way. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, when there's a will, there's a way. I legitimately wrote in my notes, I think maybe 2 days later, maybe that same night, I can't recall, but I wrote in my notes that I would marry this girl someday. So not only was the Hinge message crazy, and that's why I say our love story is so unique. I guess everybody's love story would be unique, but this one, these dating apps, man, I'm telling you, some people really meet the love of their life on these dating apps.
But you gotta go through the trenches before you come out.
You gotta be put through the ringer, man. But I mean, even meeting people in real life, not on the dating app, you're gonna get put through the ringer. I mean, we all in our 20s partying, drinking, trying to have fun every weekend. You never know what people are doing in their free time, You can meet somebody, hang out with them, and then the next day they're hanging out with somebody else behind your back, But regardless, in my notes, I literally said I would marry this girl, and I believe I wrote paragraphs. And every month forward from them on, everything we would do together, whether it was mini golfing, bowling, the things we would say or talk about to one another, I continued for, I want to say, about half a year writing in my notes. And I didn't show her. She didn't have any clue about this until 6 or 7 months later. And I was like, look at this, baby.
I was shook when he shared it with me because I think he was supposed to go on an underway. And I think that is the exact time when he was like, oh, I'm going to share this with her. And put me through the damn ringer. I was by myself for a week without this man, and I was losing it because this is when we finally moved in together. And when I tell you it was the hardest week of my life, I was like, damn, I can't live without him. Like, I would go stir crazy. But what I will say is, like, when I will never share it with anybody, but like those notes is exactly what a woman deserves and wants. And it's like, I never had to tell him, I never had to voice to him that, like, I want you to do this, or I want to know how you feel. It was like he was already writing down how he felt. And he's not an emotional person. He's not very emotional, okay?
Very logical.
He doesn't really cry. He doesn't do none of that. But when it comes to the wife, he shows emotion. And that's all that matters. I don't care if he shows it in anything else.
Don't cry, though.
But what I will say is that actually, like, that's what really secured it for me, and that's what really made me know that, like, I want to spend the rest of my life with this man. Because there's just no way in your 20s, early 20s especially, I was like 20 when we met, or 19, something like that. And when I tell you, like, I felt like the luckiest girl on earth, I'm like, what the hell? Like, I actually made it in life, like, finding my person, like, there's no way this is true, and it is. And so.
And what I want to add on top of that is, with every cherry on top, there's whipped cream below it. And what do I mean by whipped cream? I mean the blunder of mystery, the blunder of challenges, of obstacles. When I met this girl, 1 month in, she got the news that her grandma was in the hospital, and her grandma was on the verge of dying, and eventually she did die. And that was a very tragic moment. I had to see her every day for a week, crying, comforting her, 1 month in. So on the verge of everything being great, it could also be bad, but the way that you react and the way that you take care of somebody, that was another thing that really, I believe, strengthened our relationship, is when her grandmother died. Because it happened so early on, but I was always her rock, always her safe place. I always let her know, like, if you need anything, you can talk to me. I know how you're feeling. I know how it feels to lose somebody, how to feel like you're alone, like nobody understands you, your other family members are mourning, and everybody grieves in different ways. So I understood her, and I did my very best just to comfort her. I didn't even have to say much, because what can you really say in situations like that? But that's not even the most, damaging thing, because I believe 2 weeks to a month later, next thing you know, her mom is diagnosed with cancer. So now we have another battle to face together as an early couple in their 20s.
I just want to say, rest in peace, my grandma. Love her forever.
R.I.P. Granny.
And my mom's doing good. She's in remission, I believe. But what I do just want to say is, like, you know how hard life can get. And, like, when you go through stuff like that back to back, you can't really, you can lean on your family members, but you can't, because anybody who has had close family members pass and stuff like that, you understand that everybody grieves in different ways, and they go through everything in a different way and process everything in a different way. And I truly think, like, I felt like I had to be the strong one. Maybe that was just what my thought was. Maybe my sister's thoughts were different, but me personally, I felt like I had to be the strong one, because it's such a hard thing to process and to actually come to reality, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm never going to see this person ever again, and to even think about that in your life, it's like, holy. And then also on top of that, my mom, it's like you go through the thought again where you're like, if something happens to her, like, what will I do? Because my mom, she's been our rock our whole life. Like, she's been through the ringer, but she's held everything down for us. Like, I have 4 siblings, something like that. But what I will say is, like, never take the time that you have with someone for granted. And that's why I think our relationship progressed so fast and so, like, in such a deep way, because we went through such hardship together. And even though he's not an emotional person, he understood where I was coming from, because my grandma was the glue and still is the glue of our family. And so it just hurt more deeply than anything else that I ever experienced in my life. And I will never wish that upon anybody. But that's why you always choose the person that will go through the ups, the downs, the good, everything. That's when you know they're the one. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And, you know, once we got past that rough, rocky part of the relationship, it wasn't rocky for us. Like, we never argued or anything, but there was a lot of sad moments.
We did have moments where, you know, you get curious. This may be TMI, but you get curious. You go through other people's phones when they're asleep. He went through my phone when he was asleep. And when you go through someone's phone, anybody will know, in the beginning of a relationship especially, when you go through someone's phone, it's like you're looking to find something. And of course you're going to find something because you're looking for it, right? And anybody will understand this, that, like, it's valid. Like, I got mad in the moment, but I understood later, like, why he did it. And at the end of the day, that's why communication is key. And we have such great communication, and anything we're feeling or anything like that, from that day is when we had great communication. Because if we didn't, we wouldn't be here today.
And newsflash, I was high that night that I went through her phone, and I also had a paper plate full of pizza rolls straight out the microwave.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it was the weed that made me do it, her falling asleep that made me do it, or the pizza rolls,
He took advantage.
I'll take the accountability now 2 years later. But during the time, like, yeah, man, you don't want to go through somebody's phone and find things that you shouldn't see. I mean, I wouldn't want nobody to go through my phone. When you're single, you never know what people are doing. But at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all fallible. We're all, you know, creatures of God, I guess you could say. So, you know, sometimes we sin. Sometimes we do great things. But, yeah, so after those, I guess, rough patches in our relationship, I'd say about Christmas time, December of 2024, right? 2024?
Yeah.
2024, yeah, I would say that.
Mind you, we were still living apart, still seeing each other at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, she lived with her mom during the time.
Yeah.
Her mom who had cancer, she lived with her mom whenever I met her sister, and actually it was just you and your mom during the time. But regardless, like I said, I was sleeping on my friend's barrack room floor, and we had a couple of months of that, maybe 4 or 5 months, and then one day I'm hanging out with my other best friend who used to live with me in my barracks room whenever he didn't have one. Coincidence, right? He got himself a little apartment with a roommate, and he was like, yo, you can sleep in my living room. And I was like, say less, because he apparently spoke to Evers, and Evers was not too, you know, I guess found of me always bringing Shy over. Well, little did my friend know I would always bring Shy over every day too, and he started to get annoyed, because what 20-something-year-old male do you know who goes to sleep at 7 p.m. every single night? Bro was serious about his sleep and noise and the TV.
Please let us know.
But
down in the comments. No hate, Jordan, if you do watch this.
Yeah, no hate, Jordan. I love you, man.
We love you to death, but
when we were sleeping in your living room, his roommate was so, like, you know how nerds are. They're technical. They're like, I don't want to say slash of autism.
We're not talking autism. Mess. We're just
It's not mess. Like, this is straight facts, you know? We had conversations during the time to try to solve it, try to work our way around it. And I was really tiptoeing around this place. You know, you just can't have 3 people with 3 different mindsets or the 3 different ways
also,
to
he
go
was
about
cheap.
life.
He was really cheap then. Like, he
Yeah,
maybe only wanted to spend a few hundred on
because
rent.
of her. 4 months of dating her.
He only wanted to spend a few hundred on rent. And mind you, everybody in San Diego, you understand that ain't reality at all unless you just are renting a room out.
We got to save some money during the time, right? Because I think we stayed with Jordan for about 2 months maybe, and I say we because that was basically her second home.
It was my second home. I was always coming to visit and sleep over, but then I would wake up super, super early, go to Amazon, then go home to my mom.
And tell them what we had. We had a decked out air mattress. We had LED lighting.
He was sleeping on a full on air mattress. Never got a bed.
Dividing the living room. Man, we had a TV, Fortnite, Minecraft. Man, we were living our best. I honestly miss those times sometimes because the struggle is like what makes it so great. But it's crazy to think about where we came from. Her living with her mom, sleeping on the barracks room floor, sleeping at Jordan's, and then guess what? $2,600 later, we get married around January 2025, and we're like, we need
that
to
was
find
only,
a place.
mind y'all. That's why don't judge people. People do get married in a few months after dating because when you know, you know.
We knew. I knew this was the girl I wanted to marry. I was in the military during the time. Was waiting on E5 to get paid my BH and everything, and I was like, look. This is an extra $1,000. I know I'm going to be with this girl the rest of my life. We need to take advantage of this opportunity while we have the chance. So we did. We got married at the San Diego courthouse. We never had a official marriage, you know.
We had Jordan there.
Jordan was
our only witness.
Yeah, Jordan's our witness. If you want to know how we got married.
2 years later, we still have never had a wedding yet. It will happen in the future once we start making bank. Hopefully our podcast gets good views and y'all love us. But we do want to have a wedding like at some point. But we're just not the type of couple who is in a rush to spend money on that we don't have. You know?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like you can't go and spend 10, 20 grand on one day. Like that's ridiculous. Instead we go and spend that on a month vacation.
Yeah. And he's very logical. So he thinks about it in a logical standpoint. And I'm very emotionally driven. And y'all can hate all you want, but that's the perfect duo. Yeah,
logic and emotion. Ethos, pathos, logos. But like, look, man, I mean, I don't know, from the barracks room floor to Jordan's living room to now we're paying $2,600 a month after getting married in this janky apartment, Harborview Apartments. If you're watching this, can't curse, but I got a lot of good things to say about you. Let's just say that, my boy.
Harborview put us through the
downtown
ringer.
San Diego.
Okay, and mind you, we had one car. Man. We had one car. He was in the Navy. I was working my CNA job. We had one car. And so, tell them about the story about your truck and your mom.
So, my mom, all up on Vitamins and Adderall because she has...
Well, no. Okay, let me tell you. His mom did the sweetest, kindest thing and did us the biggest favor ever.
I was going to get to that part. I was adding a dramatic sequence.
Okay.
So my mom, all jacked up on Vyvanse and Adderall, coming straight from Picayune, Mississippi, all the way out to San Diego, California. She couldn't afford the truck note anymore because she had lost her job. My dad also lost his job, so now they're bunked up in his trailer, but we'll get to that in another episode. Regardless, actually, I'll bring them on. But regardless, she drove the Toyota Tacoma. It was a 2021 Toyota Tacoma, and she drove it all the way to San Diego, cracked out on Adderall.
Like 29 hours or
29, 30, something like that. But, I mean, I was amazed, you know, and I love my mom to death, and that was the best thing she ever did for us because I was like, you know what, I'll take over this $1,000 car note. I'm making good money in the military now.
And I was working a CNA job full time. Getting, what, 21 an hour, I believe?
And her mom robbed a Mercedes from us, so...
Okay, let's be careful.
Took the Mercedes away, but...
Yeah, my mom didn't want me to keep it and pay the note and all of that, so I had to leave it at my mama's house, unfortunately. So we had to come up with a solution.
And you know what the solution was? Not what we thought the solution would be, because San Diego is trifling, especially if you live downtown.
You only get one parking spot.
We got one parking spot, and for the longest time, yes, we were cheating the system. We were parking right next to the parking spot next to us because it was empty for about 6 or 7 months. But guess what? Somebody finally decided to move in.
After 7 months, they killed our vibe.
They killed our vibe. And you know what's crazy? She had to quit her job because of that, because we had to start parking that truck on a naval base. So now I'm spending $1,000 a month for a truck we don't even use. We lost her CNA income. And additionally, if she did want to go and work her job, we had to park right outside the Harborview apartment complex. And tell me why you have to pay for parking.
So then, and also the other solution, we thought about all these solutions. That he could just wake up extra early, bring me to the base. He could just go to work early, then I go head to work. Mind you though, my job, I got that job specifically because I was living at my mom's house. It was about 20 minutes away. That's doable. Everybody understands in San Diego that's doable. But after I moved out of my mom's house, lived in downtown, the commute was about 35 minutes to 40 minutes. And then if you add traffic coming home at 3, everybody in San Diego, California will understand it's ridiculous. I sat in traffic for like an hour and 15 and then I finally made it home. And nobody, whoever out there is listening, you are a CNA, and if you had to do a drive like that, you understand it's so unbearable at every single moment. Like, there's not a moment where you're like, oh, it's fine, it's worth it, because it's not. It's not at all. Like,
baby, you loved it.
I did, but not the commute.
She loved the people. Sometimes, well, some of it.
I love the people that I work with, and I'm the type of person that, like, I will stay at a job if I love who I'm working with. Mm-hmm. And I did, but I couldn't stand the commute and the no sleep, because I was basically getting not a lot of sleep because we went to the gym. And then after that, we got a few hours of sleep, but then I had to wake up extra early because we had to go to the base. So it's very just, it's not it. It's not. We tried. Like, we literally did it, I think, for like maybe a month or so. Yeah. And after that, it was just like, we couldn't do it no more. But we did learn that living off of his income, we would still be okay. Because he figured out extra routes to get more money from the military. In the military, there's a lot of routes you can go to get extra income, and we learned that.
Yep, I started using my education benefits, pursuing a degree in business, and then also I started working at Sunrun doing solar sales. Mm-hmm. Man, I was having like $12,000 months. I was doing great. I was happy. If San Diego wasn't so expensive, man, we'd probably be millionaires by now.
We probably still would have been out there.
But no, that's really what built us up. And eventually, we ended up getting out of this Harborview apartment complex, and they tried to charge us a $1,000 bill. We left the unit.
Mind you, I scrubbed that thing down.
Left the unit in the same condition as we got it in, if not better. The only thing was little holes in the wall.
Our view was a sliding glass. Our only window in view
was
a sliding glass door.
It was
and
terrible.
A little bush garden.
and look, like $1,000. They were trying to charge me for a bathtub reglazing. They were trying to charge me for repainting and cleaning. And it's like, bro, that's all you're choosing to do that. First of all, one, the unit's just as clean as the condition we left it in. And, you know, at the end of the day, I got in an argument with one management team, then another management team, then I reached out to the main management team, and they zeroed out my bill because I put California law down on them. Obviously, I used ChatGPT, but still.
Mind you, though, he's logical. He has to go the logical route and
all
prove
day,
himself.
Yeah.
Right?
Because legally. This world will try to crook you in any way possible. As soon as you turn 18.
Advice for y'all.
As soon as you turn 18, this world is out to get you, man. Have you ever heard Andrew Tate's Escape the Matrix as wage slavery? They're out to get you. I'm telling you, man. Every time you're doing good in life, there's a bill. Every single time. These leases you sign, whenever you rent a house, buy a house, whatever it is. Well, rent a house. Whenever you sign these leases, man, and you give them that security deposit, you're never getting that deposit back, because even when you leave this lease, they're going to take money out of your deposit, because they're all businesses, they're all companies, they want their hands in your pockets, so they try to get as much money as possible in hopes that you don't challenge them. So always stand up for yourself, always be educated, always know the law, and stand up for yourself, because it's your money at the end of the day. Additionally, it's like, bro, $1,000 charge, beat that case. Right? Beat that case. So after we beat that case, we moved into a place that still had street parking, but at least we could park both of our vehicles. And
it was free, and it was a little loft, It was honest, and it had in-unit washer and dryer. Like, that's a steal in San Diego.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing.
And I told him, when we moved out of Harborview, like, we needed washer and dryer. And it was the perfect thing. Like, trust me, like, that place was beautiful. Honestly, we had a beautiful view of the city. Like, it was phenomenal. But the only downfall, even though we had free street parking, there wasn't parking all the time. Mm-hmm. You know, so it was like the ups and downs, but I will say that place within itself is well worth it compared to what we were in prior.
It wasn't much more either because it was solar powered, so utilities were basically included in the rent. We were paying around $2,600 total. And I mean, I made a tour. If you want to check my profile out, you can see the house that we were living in. It was only 500 square feet, but it was a little 2-story.
But you could make it work for 2 people.
For 2 people, she got 250, I got 250 square feet. So we made it work. And yeah, we lived there for about 3 months. We thought that life would be going differently with my military job. I just got off the USS Steedham.
We had a plan to stay in San Diego for 2-3 years longer until what? When we're supposed to get out? 2028?
Yeah, I was going to get out August of 2028 because I re-enlisted in May and extended for an additional 3 months. But started doing social media in military uniform, commanding. Like, we'll get into that in another video. But I mean, it's just, we'll probably get into that episode too. But it's crazy because sometimes you can map out a plan. You could think that you're going to have this financial stability. This is how much money you're going to have. This is what's coming next. But the thing is, life always throws curveballs and obstacles. And if there's one thing I've learned in life, it's like, you cannot predict the future. You can have a good guess of what the future may be.
Rosie,
you can try your best to do your best. But the best investment I've learned is not the S&P 500. It's not any of these stocks. It's not crypto or blowing big off of some meme coin if you get lucky. The best investment you can do is yourself. And the funny thing about investing in yourself is investing in yourself has 2 different outcomes. Investing in yourself could either be money well spent or money spent where you're like, oh well. And you know, after everything we just talked about, proof is in the progress, isn't it, baby?
Yeah, because honestly, it's funny how life works. 1 minute, you can be living your best life. You got a little loft apartment with downtown San Diego view. You're in downtown San Diego. You get free street parking. Life is good. You're saving the money you want to save. Then all of a sudden, boom, life hits you out of nowhere. What happens next?
And if you're interested in hearing about how life just, boom, upside down.
It flipped upside down for us.
We'll see you all in episode 2. And as always, same table, different conversation. And remember, take it easy.
Maybe we weren't on point with the take it easy.
We were. That was good.
Okay, let's watch it back. We're going to see it. I messed up on my little conversation. It's okay. I think that was good.
Did you stop the recording?
Oh, yeah. It was kind of messed up because it was more towards my